Good afternoon. I'd like to bring to order the, oops, I'm on the wrong page, the Finance and Personnel Committee of the Villiam City Council for Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. We have two items before us today. The first one is an amendment having to do with the library budget to delete one position, create another position in its place, and the new position will be at a lower pay grade. You're going from a department director to a program manager or something, and then the cost savings will be then distributed to other needs in the library. Maybe our library director, Pam, might be able to give a better description than that.
Well, nice job, Michael.
Thank you.
I'm Pam Kiesner, library director. And yes, the agenda bill is to amend the budget. We are deleting or eliminating our assistant director position. In here it shows as a department manager 1. At the library, it's an assistant director position. We've been without the position. It's been vacant for over a year, and we've had 2 unsuccessful recruitments. And in the meantime, over this last year, we've managed to farm out much of the responsibilities of that position, except for communications, community relations, and public and programming. And so I've created a new position. It's in the E-team plan to handle all of the communications, community relations, and programming responsibilities. It is a cost savings from the assistant director position, but we're applying the savings to other line items in the library's budget in order to support the work of the communications person.
Move approval.
Second.
Looks like we have some, I agree we'll have a formal vote on that in a second, but I do have 2 questions. One, this has been through the library board, I assume, and they support this?
They're very excited about it. And it's also been through the city's classification committee. Since it was a new position, it had to go that route where they actually looked at it and made a determination of where it would fall in the pay plan, et cetera. And so we're taking their recommendation.
So it sounds like you're having what I would call more flat organizational structure, you know, more people reporting to you and spreading the workload that way.
Right.
Okay, all those in favor of recommending tonight to the full council we pass this ordinance, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. I agree. That's an unanimous vote. We'll bring that forward tonight. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
We'll go on to the second item for the Finance Personnel Committee. That is an amendment of a agenda item to amend the 2014 adopted budget to increase expenditures by $380,000 for the qualified energy conservation bonds. We have in front of us our finance director. I think you might want to explain what expenditures means in this case, because as I'm reading it, it's not a normal, it's not an expenditure in the usual sense. It's paying down of a principal. Is that correct?
Yeah, Brian Henshaw, Finance Department. So, Michael, you're correct. Basically, we need the budget authority to refund the bonds that we did not spend all the funds on. So in 2011, the city bonded $6.5 million to do qualified energy projects citywide, and the list of those projects is on page 20 in your booklets. We did a lot of deferred maintenance citywide that hadn't happened over previous years. This was a special, it's a taxable bond, and it was also, we received a rate subsidy from the federal government, so it ended up costing us only about 1.7% for the funding. But as all good projects like this or funding sources, they come with a lot of restrictions. And so one of the restrictions on this was that at the end of 3 years, any unspent money needed to be go back to call the bonds. So that's what we're here today to do. And the other is that we use the state contracting agency. And the third criteria was that we had to achieve 20% savings. So when we started the project, we had some contingencies. We had hoped that we would end up with, at the end of the projects, the leftover money that we could turn around and do another project. But with all the other constraints and timing, we are now up against a June 1st deadline to call those bonds, and so we need to buy these down. But it will lower the debt service over the coming years. And these are a 14-year bond.
Right. So that's where the words are funny. This expenditure actually means this is money we didn't spend, not money we actually spent.
Yeah,
So this expenditure is returning unspent money.
correct.
Okay. Committee.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to recommend approval tonight. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have a unanimous recommendation for approval. I will bring that forward tonight. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.
And that concludes the Finance and Personnel Committee's work for this afternoon. The next committee will start after a few moments break, and that will be the Lake Whatcom Reservoir and Natural Resources Committee, Councilmember Vargas presiding.